Hey folks, so welcome back to another Slay the Spire video. Today we're going to be talking about The Watcher. It's been on my list for a long time. Obviously, if anyone's been following my channel, there's a big gap between my Slay the Spire videos. Not because it took me a long time to finish The Watcher. I think I've done Ascension 20 over a year ago. It's just the way like kind of personal life has happened and stuff. But it's definitely been on my list, and a few people have asked for it in the comments. So yeah, we're going to do The Watcher today in a similar manner to the other three, the Ironclad, Defect, and Silent. So we're going to play on Ascension 10, again, just to try and just make sure that we get a complete run. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about The Watcher first. So for people who I guess haven't seen any of my other videos, I use the kind of idea of a checklist, and I'm going to be referring to this checklist a lot. If you want a more in-depth explanation, I just recommend kind of maybe going back over some of my other guides. Perhaps the Defect one is quite a popular one, and I'll kind of go into more detail about checklist there. But you know, if you don't want to, that's fine. I'll do it very briefly here. Basically, it's just a tool that I use that helps me when it comes to picking rewards in the game. So that's both cards and relics. And the idea is the game will throw various challenges at you, and you need a well-rounded deck in order to beat all those challenges. So the checklist breaks down into damage, mitigation, and deck control. And then we further break it down. So damage would be, you know, early burst damage or scaling damage or AoE damage. Excuse me. Mitigation would be, you know, block, simply enough, or cards that would weaken my enemy, so lower their strength, or, you know, ethereal, or anything like that. And then deck manipulation is anything that can help me kind of control what cards I'm able to play in a turn. So that would be card draw, or putting cards from my draw pile into my hand, or from my discard pile into my draw pile. So obviously card draw is the most obvious one, but the Watcher doesn't really have much card draw, but she has a lot of a keyword called scry, which allows you to see what cards you're going to draw. So that would be a form of deck manipulation. So yeah, as we go through this run, I'm going to be referring to the checklist and constantly just kind of thinking, you know, do I have enough damage for this floor? You know, is my scaling okay? Am I taking a lot of damage in fights? Why am I taking damage? Perhaps I have a lot of mitigation, but my deck manipulation isn't good enough, so I'm not actually drawing the cards that I need to on the turn. That's something kind of you need to be thinking about. So we're going to be talking about the checklist there, so I just want to give you a heads up that that's what that means. So let's talk about the Watcher specifically. So the Watcher is an excellent damaging character. She can put out extremely high numbers very early. So what that means for us is we're going to try and be utilizing her strength in that aspect to push quite hard in the early floor, so Act 1 specifically, and try to use that, turn that strength into rewards. So what does that mean? That means taking a lot of hallway fights and hunting elites. That's a really important thing. Very different to someone like the Silent, for example, who is actually very weak at the start, and maybe you want to be avoiding elites with the Silent. The Watcher wants to be hunting them down and getting their relics, and turning the damage that she can put into tangible rewards. So that's kind of the plan for Act 1. We can talk a little bit about her unique mechanic, perhaps, which is her stances. I think that's what they're called. I probably should check that. But basically, it's Wrath, Calm, and Divinity. And I guess the biggest question I had when I started playing The Watcher was, how do I think about these stances? You know, do I want to go all into Wrath, for example? People from other card games, excuse me. People from other card games, like I was playing Griftlands a while ago, and that's a game where you identify a keyword in a card and then you want to build on that keyword, right? So is that the same with Slay the Spire? So if I start getting a Wrath card, do I now think, okay, well, this is a Wrath run and I want to be pulling lots of Wrath cards and ignoring the other stances? No. That is not what you want to be doing in this. It's the first really important lesson you have to learn as a Watcher. There's a balance to be had, right? Now, I say this, and underlying all of this is Slay the Spire is a very complicated game. You need to think about it. Sometimes, you're going to be doing a run, and Wrath is all you're getting, or Wrath is, is what you need. You don't actually need to change other stances because you're able to defend yourself in other ways. So you have to underlie everything I'm saying right now with the kind of the idea that everything can change in Slay the Spire depending on what cards and relics you're offered and how the run is looking. But generally, you want a balance. So you want Wrath is a very good keyword to get you that damage that you need, and Cam is a very good keyword and stance to get you energy, and also they're really important to get out of those stances, right? Which is another really important thing with the Watcher. She gets benefits from leaving her stances. So what do I mean by that? Well, when you're in Cam, when you leave Cam, you get energy, and that's the main purpose of Cam, really. Wrath, on the other hand, you actually don't get anything when you leave the stance. However, you stop taking the ridiculous amount of damage that you take when you're in that stance. So you can kind of see that as a reward of leaving that stance. So it's very, very, very important to remember that the stances are important, but leaving the stances, and particularly switching between the stances in combat rounds, is really, really important. And that might be kind of intuitive when you see the different stances, but I think a mistake a lot of new people to Watcher make is they see cards that just say exit a stance, and they deprioritize those cards because what are you doing? All you're doing is leaving a stance. But those cards are really, really good as well, because you're obviously getting the rewards from exiting the stance. You're getting the energy from Cam, and you're not taking the damage from Wrath if you leave the stance. So cards like Empty Fist is a really good example of that. Nice early damage card that lets you leave a stance. The last thing I want to talk about before we actually start the run is Wrath, and being brave in Wrath. So one thing that the Watcher requires is a lot of calculation. So when you're in Wrath, you obviously take extra damage, but you deal extra damage. So a mistake I made when I started playing the Watcher was I used Wrath as my closer, right? I would see that the enemy was on 30 health. I would have a few damage cards, I'd pop Wrath, and I'd burst them down. Okay, and that way that was safe, right? So you've no chance of taking the damage that way if you just kill the enemy. But that's not how the Watcher should be played, right? When you think about Wrath, all it's doing is giving you extra damage. And when you compare that to, like, say, the Ironclad and strength, the strength gain that the Ironclad can get, it would seem crazy that if you were just popping strength near the end of the fight, right? Because you're missing so much of the value for the other, the start and the middle of the fight. And it's the same in Wrath. You want to be popping Wrath, you want to be doing your damage, but you want to be doing it in a calculated way. So either, what does that mean? That means if you're in a hallway fight and you're fighting multiple enemies, you're killing the enemies that is actually dealing damage that turn, or you have an exit stance card in your hand, be that swapping to another stance or just exiting stance entirely, or you're scrying and you know what you're drawing and you're able to draw into something, or you have enough block, mitigation, etc., etc. The point I'm trying to make here is you need to utilize Wrath to its full extent in a lot of these runs, because a lot of the time Wrath is how you're going to be dealing damage. Not all of the time. Again, I have to underpin this. Slay the Spire is a weird game. Sometimes, I've finished runs where I haven't entered Wrath once. My damage has come from other sources. But a lot of the time, Wrath will be your damage source. So it's important to kind of understand this about Wrath. Be brave. Enter Wrath, and I'll try and show you this as I go through the run. Enter Wrath. And utilize that damage. Sometimes that means gambling. If you're in a really bad position, sometimes you just have to enter Wrath and do as much damage as you can and hope that you don't die. Sometimes that has to happen. But that's a kind of last ditch scenario. Okay, so those are kind of the main points I wanted to talk about the Watcher before we actually started the run. So let's begin. Right. So again, like I said in the other videos, it's really important with the whale bonus. You want to be looking at the whale bonus and you want to be looking at your map. So we're going to open our map here. I find myself scrolling to elites. Rest is my default with the other classes, but with Watcher I tend to scroll to elites because, like I said, Watcher does a lot of damage at the start and you want to be utilizing that damage to hunt elites. So immediately I see a path on the left that's extremely dangerous but high reward. So I could go hallway fight, a few question marks, a merchant, which I could maybe pick up a potion. Then it goes elite, rest, elite, and then I can diverge here if I want to, if I'm getting quite beat up. I think that might be our path. It's a dangerous path to take. Again, I say this in my other videos, but the way Slay the Spire works is it'll give you 3 easy hallway fights. There's a pool. Basically, there's a pool of easy hallway fights, and then there's a pool of, medium, the rest of the hallway fights. So your first 3 hallway fights are always going to be from the easy pool, and you need to take that into account when you're planning your route. So you obviously don't want to go into too many of the normal pool hallway fights before you hit your first elite, especially in Act 1. So this means that we stay in the easy pool and we hit an elite. And the shop is really nice because, a potion is really, really good when it comes to taking on that elite. You might be able to get a fire pot, for example, or something like that. Okay, so that's the path I'm thinking about taking. If I look in the middle, a lot of rests here. There is one where we get 2 elites, which is fine. I want to ignore the right. So let's just see what... Okay, so... I like this one, but our route is too dangerous to take this. Random Rare Relic is quite nice. I think we're looking for the obtain 3 random potions here because, same idea about going to the shop. Potions are extremely good for taking elites, especially in Act 1. I think this will give us the power level we need to go and take that left route, which gives us 3 elites. I want to talk a little bit about the starting relic. If you see my other guides, I tend to be a proponent of keeping the starting relic. I love the Ironclad starting relic. I love the defect starting relic, and I love the silent starting relic, and I quite like the defect starting relic. Pure Water is maybe the only one I would say you're probably gambling on it is probably okay. When I mean gambling on it, I mean you pick the lose your starting relic, obtain a random boss relic. The extra miracle is nice, don't get me wrong. This isn't a bad starting relic. And you can use that miracle to just get you over the edge. It'll get you 1 extra card in Wrath, perhaps. Or, it'll allow you to play that 2 energy vigilance card that you have to get you into Cam. That's quite nice. But you could probably swap it. I'm not going to do it in this run because I want this run to be kind of like a default Watcher run, and I don't want to get like a Snekawai or something right off the bat. But if you're that type of person who likes to kind of gamble on their runs, the Watcher is probably the best class to do it on in terms of gambling your starting relic. But we're going to pick the 3 random pots, and we're going to take the left-hand route and try and get those 3 elites. I mean, they're not great. I mean, the stance potion is nice, but the Blessing of the Forge, not great. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so a lot of damage coming our way here, and we can't really do much about it, I don't think. We could kill 1, but then, yeah, I think we just have to defend here. That's okay. It's good use of our miracle there. More damage, fun. Okay, but this is okay. So this is the benefit of leaving Cam into Wrath. We're just going to get that extra bit of energy. Okay, so our first card choice. Again, this is an underlying principle that I've mentioned in all my videos. You want early damage at the start, especially in this run where we're hunting elites. Pick those early damage cards. Act 1 is a huge amount of Act 1 is about burst damage and clearing those hallway fights. And you don't need to really worry about scaling until we get to kind of Act 2 or perhaps sometimes the Act 1 boss. But just to go over these cards, Protect, I actually quite like Protect. Retain is a keyword for Watcher where you get to hold on to the card when you pass a turn. Obviously, Slay the Spire, you tend to discard your entire hand once you pass a turn, but Retain will hold it on. And 12 block for 2 mana is 2 energy is like meh. It's like in terms of actual energy value, it's not great, but 12 block is a decent amount of block, and especially if you get an energy relic, it's quite nice to have. But obviously, we don't need that now. 8 damage is good. Retain Retain isn't doing as much for me as it is on Protect. Especially since, I prioritize damage, so I'll usually be drawing damage cards. So I'm not too hot on the retain aspect there. So we're looking really at 8 for 1, which is okay. But we got 9 for 1 in Empty Fist, and Exit Your Stance is just far more valuable than Retain for me. Means we can gamble a bit more in Wrath, means we can proc our Vigilance and get that extra energy from Cam. So yeah, we're going to be picking Empty Fist. Okay, unfortunate. We're going to be drawing a lot of damage cards here. Okay, so we're going to go into Vigilance, and we're going to get a redraw now. So we have a chance of drawing Wrath on the next. We're going to draw Wrath on the next turn, which is great. So I'm just going to have a look here. Yeah, so unfortunately we're going to be drawing Eruption, but a lot of defense. So I'm just going to pop my Miracle now and get that damage in. And we're going to be drawing Empty Fist here, which is great. We have the damage, which is fine. Okay. Vulnerable, I don't love, to be honest. Like, this is a way, this is another way the Watcher will do damage. But it's, one vulnerable is like, it's okay. Right? You need to be, doing your big attack phase. But the problem is, at the moment, it's saying if your last card played this combat was a skill. So we don't really have the energy right now to make sure that happens, unless we get lucky and the last card we played the previous turn is a skill, and then we draw into Crush Joints, and then it becomes a bit better. But that doesn't tend to happen. Usually what happens is you have to play the skill card to proc it. And then you have it. But then, right now we're on 3 energy. So we're playing 1 skill card to proc it. We're playing another energy then to do 8 damage and apply vulnerable for 1 turn. And then we have 1 energy to do the damage with vulnerable. So it just doesn't do enough. When we have a lot of energy, or we have something like Runic Pyramid, when we can make sure this happens a bit more often, it gets better then. But right now, no. Another Empty Fist isn't too bad, to be honest. 9 damage, upgrades to 11, I think. No, 14, yeah, it's a huge upgrade. So that's really, really good. I like the upgrade there. 14 for 1 is really, really strong. Windmill Strike is just not doing enough for us right now. So dealing 7 damage for 2 is obviously terrible. This is a card that scales, but right now we don't need scaling. We need early damage. So I'm going to go with Empty Fist again. And then we're going to proc our 3rd Hallway Fight, which is be the last one of the easy pool. Okay, he's attacking, it's unfortunate. Okay, so we're going to go into Vigilance here. And yeah, it's fine. Okay, I'm going to drop one of these for Liquid Bronze. Okay, some other cards. Halt is actually really nice. Anyone who's played card games will know anything for 0 energy is always, you have to just kind of keep your eye on it, because playing a card for free is always nice. So, keep your eye on it, look what it does. It gives you 3 block for 0 energy, not great. Obviously, anything for 0 energy is nice, but you have to consider you're drawing this card. So it's not a free card, it costs energy and a draw. So 3 block for 1 draw is not good. However, the block that you're going to get then, the additional 9 block when you're in Wrath, is really, really nice. And what really makes this pop is if you're constantly switching out of stances, which we have a lot of exit stance cards now. We're able to get our 12 block and then switch out of Wrath, and take far less damage from the enemy. So that it can be quite nice then. Is it a card I'm going to pick now? I'm not sure. Early game, every single card we draw is extremely important. I have no card draw. In fact, I have no deck manipulation whatsoever at the moment, which makes Halt a bit weaker. So we have to kind of keep that in mind. Evaluate is like 6 block for 1 energy is not good. That's just the way that kind of maths works out. However, how good is shuffling and insight into your draw pile? It's quite good when your deck starts motoring. Okay, so Watcher has, I think I mentioned this at the start, it doesn't have actually many card draws. You know, she struggles in actually drawing cards. Her deck manipulation comes in other forms. So something like an Insight, where you're retaining it and drawing 2 cards for 0 energy, is really, really nice. However, again, we're in the hallway fights in Act 1. We need cards to do something immediately because, you know, we're going to be taking damage immediately. And we can't just afford to play 1 energy for 6 block and, you know, no benefit. You know, and that might be unfair on Insight, but for a lot of the hallway fights, you're going to be playing you're going to be playing Evaluate, and then you're not going to see Insight. Or Insight just isn't as important as another card that you could draw. So we're going to leave this. Empty Body. So exiting our stance is important. However, we have enough of that. So I'm going to deprioritize. This is, you know, going back to our checklist at the moment. You know, one of the checklists you could add for the Watcher is, you know, stance control. How is my stance control right now? It's excellent. You know, I don't have many stance cards, so I'm not going to go into it very often. And I'm very easily able to get out of the stance with our 2 empty fists, plus the cards you start with. So exiting your stance now is very much deprioritized. Gain 7 block. So when you think about it that way, you're really looking at gain 7 block for 1 energy, which again is not good. So we're going to skip those cards. And then we're going to dodge the hard hallway fight and go into this. And we're just going to get 100 gold, which is perfect because we're going into a shop. That was really, really nice event for us. Okay. Our cards right now are okay. Thorns is going to be nice on the sentries, but not great on the other 2. Entering Camel Wrath is just going to be really nice. And upgrading is okay. So I'm not going to discard any of these. So we're not going to actually buy a potion here. I think we're all set. I don't really want to talk about all of these cards because I don't want to get this video to get really, really long. But just suffice to say, there's nothing here right now that we need. I really, really like Mental Fortress, but it's a card for the late game. Warpaint, no, we're not going to spend 155 on upgrading basic cards. Strawberry's okay. But max HP is meh. Started Elite Combat with 2 strength. Actually quite nice for hunting elites. So the most important thing I think we want to do is we want to just get rid of a strike. So maybe a little bit about kind of how to deal with cards. Sorry, the beginning set. So obviously, you know, each character has their own principle on what cards to get rid of. I think for the Watcher, you're going to be adding so many attacks because you want, you know, you want to enhance that damage. You want to enhance what Wrath can do, or Divinity if you go that way. You're going to be prioritizing a lot of those cards, which means you don't want to be seeing strikes. You want to be seeing things like Empty Fists and the other damage cards we get. So I'm going to deprioritize that. Defends are actually kind of important at the moment because we're going to be taking quite a lot of damage. You know, we might be in Wrath, and those defense might be absolutely crucial. So we're going to start with a strike, especially because I've added 2 empty fists as well, right? You have to consider that. But usually I'd probably go 2 strikes and then start whittling away the defense. That's kind of how I would do that. But it really does depend on what cards you're bringing in. And I think we're probably going to get the Sling of Courage, just because we're going elite hunting, and, you know, 3 elites in a row, the extra 2 strength would be quite nice. Okay, Gremlin Lob. Right, so the nice thing about Gremlin Knob is if you get lucky and you go into Wrath straight away, you can just kind of proc it and not worry about the first turn. I think what we're going to do here is we're going to go into Wrath. Oh, that was a mistake. Sorry, yeah, that was silly. What I meant to do is play Empty Fist and then go into Wrath. But I mean, it's okay. It's not too bad. We can go Wrath here and go out, and then be quite safe for the next turn. Okay. So we could go Corruption, Empty Fist, Miracle, Defend if we wanted to, get that extra bit of damage. Obviously we don't want to play too many skills. I think that might be what we do. Obviously the plan is to burst him down, so we're taking a bit of damage here, but we should be able to finish him off next turn. Okay, not bad. Okay, that's interesting. So strikes become a bit more important now. How we get our stance motion back. Okay, so let's talk about these cards. Mantra. We need to talk about Mantra a little bit. One of the comments on my defect video was when I was talking about Claw, and like my kind of my mantra for Slay the Spire is when you pick a card, if that card needs more of the same type of card to do something, it's a risky pick, right? So this kind of goes back to the Claw. What I was kind of talking about Claw in my defect video is Claw means you need more Claw, okay? Sometimes you'll get a run where you get offered loads of Claw, and it was a great pick, and well done. However, sometimes you don't, and that Claw that you just picked is now a bit of a dead card. Mantra is kind of similar to that, right? So what does Mantra do? When you get 10 stacks of Mantra, you enter Divinity. Divinity, you do triple damage. Okay, so you really pop off. The problem with Mantra is when you play a card that gives you Mantra, you do nothing for that turn, right? That card does absolutely nothing that turn. So you have to think, can you afford to do that? Okay, and obviously you need... Then you need to think about, okay, well, I've played a card that does nothing that turn, and now I need to also bring more cards of that into my deck to make sure that it eventually does something, right? So we're looking at, let's look at Prostate here, for example, right? Prostate, damn it. Well, riff video. Prostrate. So Prostrate gives you 2 Mantra and gives you 4 block, right? So 4 block for 0 energy, not great. Okay, again when you think about the card draw, right? I mean, 4 block for 0 energy is obviously brilliant if you don't have to worry about the card draw, but you're drawing that card. Okay, so again, not free. So not great. The 2 Mantra that it does, okay, this card in terms of Mantra does nothing for you unless you're in a fight where you draw Prostrate so many times that 2 Mantra is eventually going to take up into 10. Right, that doesn't happen. It's not going to happen. You're never going to have a fight that lasts that long, especially as Watcher. So the 2 Mantra does absolutely nothing for you for Prostrate, which means you have to add other cards that give you Mantra in order for that Mantra that Prostrate generates to actually do something. Okay, so there's a balance. There's a line there where I'm putting Prostrate into my deck and it does pretty much nothing. It's essentially giving me 4 block for 0 energy. And then I have to add another card in, okay? Do 2 of those cards do anything? Probably not, really. I'm going to have to add a 3rd card in, and I'm going to have to add a 4th card in. And then on the 4th card, then it's starting to do something. Then I can realistically say I'm probably going to proc Divinity in this fight, okay? In this boss fight or in this elite fight. It's very unlikely you're going to proc Divinity in a hallway fight. And, you know, as I said in my other videos, hallway fights are super important. You cannot ignore hallway fights. They will kill you, or they will do so much attrition that the boss fight will kill you, or the elite fight will kill you, or something like that. You know, it doesn't matter how good your deck is for a boss fight. If you're going into it on 10 health, you're probably going to die. Right, and that's a death to the hallway fight. You know, the game may say you died to slime boss, but the hallway fights killed you. So that's when I look at something like Mantra or something like Claw, it's such a gamble for me. Okay, I just think, am I going to have enough Mantra to do something? Okay, so I would really steer clear of this unless I am getting Mantra somehow, maybe through a relic that I was given off a chest or something like that. I actually don't even know. I think there is a relic that gives you 1 Mantra every turn. You know, or I randomed into a card that was giving me Mantra, and that kind of train was already moving, then I'd say, okay, let's add more carriages. But right now, absolutely not. Devotion is slightly different in the sense that it does actually, you know, you could play Devotion and you get Mantra after 5 turns, right? However, again, hallway fights, I'm not going to be waiting 5 turns to proc Mantra. In elite fights and boss fights, I mean, it's just not really good enough on its own. This is one of the cards, though, that if you pick Devotion and you start picking other cards that get you Mantra, you can actually realistically get Divinity pretty regularly. But right now, like, you know, obviously in Act 1, I want to pick cards that do something immediately. And Devotion just doesn't do anything immediately. I'm going to pick Devotion, and it won't do anything for me until I get to the boss. And then, I probably will, absolutely will get to 5 turns on him. But like, that's it then. I'm probably not going to be getting to 10 turns. So I'm going to proc Devotion once. So really not kind of worth it at the moment. If this is a reward from the boss and the other 2 cards are just kind of crap, yeah, I pick Devotion. And then I'd start leaning into cards like Prostrate. But right now, just doesn't do enough for me in the hallway fights, especially considering I'm going into 2 elites now. Sorry, that was a bit long-winded, but I kind of just wanted to lay out my kind of theory on cards like Mantra. Cards that give you Mantra. It's just something, this might be my own personal bias or maybe a weakness as a player for me, but I tend to just distrust cards that don't do something immediately for me, especially in Act 1. Crescendo is a little bit different. It is a card that, you may look at it and say, well, that doesn't do something immediately for you. You're just entering a stance for energy. However, when we look at the idea of stance manipulation, I mentioned earlier that getting out of the stance is really good, but that's one part of stance manipulation, getting out of the stances. The other part of stance manipulation is getting into the stances. So getting into Wrath when you need it and getting into Calm when you need it. And right now, that's quite weak for us, right? We have one card that gets us into Wrath and it's cost 2 energy, which is quite expensive. And we have one card that gets us into Calm and it costs 2 energy, again, quite expensive. Crescendo, when you upgrade it, is 0 energy. And crucially, it has the keyword Retain, right? So when you upgrade Crescendo, you have a card, once you draw it, that you can enter Wrath anytime you want, okay? And that is so powerful. So powerful. I love Crescendo when it's upgraded. There is an argument to be made right now. We're so early on in the game and we don't have many cards. Is it worth it? And I think that's an absolutely fair comment to make. However, I think it is just because we have Empty Fist, right? So I could pop Crescendo for 0, play a Strike, and play an Empty Fist in 1 turn and be quite safe. So I think we're going to go Crescendo, and I think we're going to prioritize the upgrade. I'm going to upgrade this. Okay, so this is where we can kind of decide whether or not we want to diverge. So if we take kind of a bad fight here, we can move to the right. First off, I'm going to play Blessing of the Forge right off the top. I want to try and burst this guy down. I can play 2 strikes here, and then hopefully I will draw into an Empty Fist, right, or a Vigilance. I'll have to draw into one of them. So I can be quite safe in doing an absolute buttload of damage here and being safe about it. I might be able to kill him next turn, maybe. Okay, so no. Okay, so this is where the maths comes in. I'm 1 damage off. Right? 66. Yeah, I'm doing 66 damage. That is unfortunate. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Okay. Nothing can be done about it. We just have to exit the stance. Okay, so we're going to take damage that we really could have avoided. But, I mean, listen, what can you do? Okay, so this is where the bit of maths comes in. So we should be fine here, right? Yeah. Okay, wing boots. Okay, so about the bit of maths, I should have probably said this right at the top. I'm terrible at quick maths in my head. I am like really bad. To the extent like I'm a dungeon master in a game of D&D, and I have so much trouble just calculating simple numbers in my head, and that's a real problem when it comes to Watcher. So sometimes what I do is I just open up a calculator app. And just calculate it out. So don't feel embarrassed. Like, you know, if you have trouble doing quick maths in your head, just use a calculator, because the Watcher does require quick maths, right? You saw there, you know, you have to add things together to just see if you have enough damage to kill something in Wrath or in Divinity or something like that. So don't be afraid to just open a calculator app and do that. I find that helps quite a bit. Okay, so talking about the cards, AoE, which is a really important part of damage in this checklist. Watcher is quite bad at AoE. she doesn't have many cards that will hit everything. She has one card, the name escapes me right now, that does quite a bit of damage and ends your turn. So that's good, but the whole end of your turn is really nasty. But otherwise, she really struggles. Her kind of AoE is, I'll do so much damage that I'll kill all of you one by one. That's kind of her stance when it comes to AoE. And Bowling Bash is kind of similar, is kind of like that, right? So Bowling Bash is a single damage card that scales based on the amount of targets that are in the fight. So it's a kind of a strange one that it is a fight for AoE fights, but it doesn't do AoE damage, if that makes sense. So how do you think about it? Well, to be honest, I just think about this as an AoE card, right? Bowling Bash, when you're fighting, the very tough AoE fights like, Slavers or Reptomancer or something like that, Bowling Bash will scale quite high, especially if you're in Wrath and you've upgraded it. So even though you're just taking down one, but that's a fine way to approach AoE fights with the Watcher. Kill one and move on to kill the next. So I prioritize Bowling Bash very heavily, both because AoE fights are important, and she just doesn't have many AoE cards. So I would highly prioritize Bowling Bash. Study, we kind of talked about Insight in general, and Study is kind of similar for this. It's just not a card that we can afford right now, and Empty Fist we have a lot of. So Bowling Bash is an easy pick here. I'm on 31 health. I'm feeling brave, kind of. We're gonna go for it. Who have we got? Grappling Knob again. Okay, a little bit scary, but we're able to go into so that's what I mean. I mentioned this at the beginning, at the first Grappling Knob fight. It's really, really nice the way you can just enter Wrath on the first turn without actually worrying about anything. So that was a good example of that. Oh, I want all of these cards. Sugar. Okay. Right. Let's talk about... We'll just go left to right. Okay, David Form is just an incredibly strong card, right? So, think about the big moneymaker cards on the other classes, and David Form is kind of similar to those. Getting one energy increased every turn will just it doesn't completely mitigate for not getting energy relics in a run, but it really does help. It doesn't mitigate because playing if you're not getting energy relic, you're probably going to be on 3 energy, and you're going to have to spend your whole turn playing David Form, which isn't great, especially considering it's ethereal, so it'll disappear if you don't play it. However, if you can get David Form out, it's so strong when it comes to scaling, especially if you can pair it up with a lot of card draw. So David Form is really, really good. Fear No Evil is just a nice card. It deals damage and you enter a stance, which is always really nice. Entering a stance is really, really important, and obviously dealing damage is really nice in the early game. And Lesson Learned is another excellent scaling card. So deal 10 damage for 2 energy isn't great, but upgrading a random card in your deck is so strong, and that's permanently upgrading it, right? I mean, it's not just for this fight. Lesson Learned is for me an auto pick early in the game, because if you plan it right, you'll have your whole deck upgraded by the end of the fight, and you can just ignore campfires or ignore the upgrading side of campfires that way. But it's up against David Form and Fear No Evil. I think we have to ignore David Form for now, because again, the principle of Act 1, it just doesn't do enough for us right now. Hallway fights are important still. We're towards the end of the map, so it's not as important. But if we don't get an energy relic, we're then going into Act 2 hallway fights, and a lot of the time you just cannot afford to play David Form on 3 energy in Act 2 hallway fights. You'll get murdered. So I think we have to ignore this and hope maybe David Form shows up in a boss reward or something like that. So it's between Fear No Evil and Lesson Learned. So I would move towards Lesson Learned. We're still early on in the run. If we play it right, the upgrade is just going to give us so much value. So yeah, we're going to go Lesson Learned. Okay, this is a scary fight, for sure. We definitely need to be careful about this fight. So we're gonna play Crescendo, and we're gonna start killing things. So we're gonna prioritize the 12 damage cards. Yeah, okay. So you can just see how strong Crescendo is there. Like, you know, I was able to play it for free and able to just start outputting a ton of damage. And that's like perfect. That's actually a really good example of what I meant in terms of, that's a lovely upgrade. In terms of how the Watcher does AoE damage, right? She just kills things one by one. Okay, she's like that meme, you know, that meme with the Grim Reaper walking into the different doors, and then you can like put whatever you want on the doors for the meme. That's basically the Watcher. Okay, so we've talked about evaluation. Nothing's changed here. We do not want 2 crescendos. Absolutely not. Slash Whip helps with mitigation for sure, and we have very little mitigation, right? All we have right now is just block, and playing a attack into an attack is a lot better than hoping you play the skill into an attack, right? Because in the attack phases you want to play the attacks, so it's just a lot easier to kind of line that up. I always hate 1 weak and 1 vulnerable. Does upgrade to 2 weak. I mentioned this in other videos, but like with 1 weak and 1 vulnerable, you know, you have to just hope that the time you play it is the time that you need the weak. So for example, what do I mean there? I mean, if I use Slash Whip onto an enemy and he's not attacking, that weak just does nothing. Okay, 2 weak, however, gives me a lot bigger chance that the weak is actually going to do something. But I kind of like Slash Whip. We want more damaging cards for our Eruption and our Crescendo. We actually don't have too many damaging cards right now. We have Empty Fist, but you know, you've probably seen this a few times in this run already, where I have Empty Fist, but I don't really want to use it because I want to stay in Rat. So these are kind of weird damage cards. And it also gives us that bit of mitigation. So when we're looking at our checklist, early damage, yeah, we still need a bit more early damage. And mitigation, yes, we need mitigation. So that's how I'm going to assess that pick. No, these are really good. The liquid bronze is going to be really nice for the boss fight, so we're going to hold on to that. Do we fight an elite again? That's the question, isn't it? Yeah, I think we do. We have enough cards. I'm going to play a power. Okay, I'm going to play Rushdown. So we're going to enter. So we're going to play Rushdown. We're going to enter Wrath and hope we get a lot of damaging cards. Okay. Okay, so what are we drawing here? So this is scary. Although we have a stance potion. What am I assessing here? I'm assessing, do I play Miracle and play Eruption to get the extra 22 damage, or do I play Miracle and play Vigilance to get out of Wrath? Because this guy is going to hit us hard. He's going to hit us for 40 next turn. So I'm assessing is what are the likelihood of me drawing one of the 2 Empty Fists. I think it's worth doing the damage because we can play the stance potion and get out of it if we're in big trouble. And I quite like the extra 22 damage. Okay, perfect. So. Yeah, we have enough to kill. Perfect. Okay, excellent. So that's again what I mean about being brave and Wrath. We got 2 stance potions. Okay. All these are new. Okay, so let's do a real quick one first off. Stands of Time. 20 damage for 4 energy is terrible. We can't play 4 energy at the moment, so it does literally nothing when we draw it. However, when we retain it, it goes down. This is a scaling card, obviously. You want to hold it. You want to play a few rounds of the fight. If you have a card like, is it Vault, is it called? I should have memorized all the names of these cards. But basically, Watcher has a card that lets you just skip a turn. That's really nice when it comes to a card like this, because you get to lower the cost for 1 for nothing. So there's a lot of ways to make Sands of Time work. And then obviously if you're in Wrath, it's doing 40 damage. You know, if you're in Divinity, it's doing 60 damage. So Sands of Time is definitely one to look out for. But right now, we just can't make it work. So that's an easy no. So it's between Empty Mind and Cut Through Fate. Empty Mind gives us 2 cards, draws 2 cards, and exits your stance. So obviously, card draw is really, really nice. Like I said, the Watcher doesn't have many that can do it. And exiting our stance, nah. Like, it's again, I'm not really prioritizing it that much because we still have our two empty fists. Cut Through Fate is a really nice early game card. It just does it, like when you're looking at your checklist, right? For early damage, yeah, 7 damage is early damage. Deck Manipulation, scry 2, that's Deck Manipulation, and draw 1 card, Deck Manipulation. So it does a lot on the checklist. So yeah, I quite like Cut Through Fate. We are getting to the point now where we have to consider how much early damage we're putting into our deck, but I think we're still okay to do it. And I'm going to do a hallway fight because I want to try and get proc Lessons Learned. Okay, so I think we can just blow this guy up, right? Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so we can discard. The really nice thing about Scry Through Fate as well is Scry Through Fate, Cut Through Fate is it works so nicely. The combination of scrying and drawing works really nicely, right? Because if you scry the 2 cards and you see one that you wanted, so there, for example, I saw Lessons Learned and can't remember, Eruption might have been. I was able to cancel Eruption and ensure I draw Lessons Learned. So that combination works really well together. And I'm probably going to, yeah, just come out of my stance here. Okay, and play Vigilance. Okay. Can I kill? Yeah. I'm going to use the energy potion for the stance because we already have one. Okay, lovely. We've talked about Flying Sleeves and we've talked about empty body. Nothing's changed here. Wheel Kick. Dealing 15 damage is really nice, especially again considering Wrath. Everything, every number of the damage that the Watcher has, you have to think about it in terms of Wrath as well, right? Because a lot of the time, you're not going to be wanting to play your attacks unless you're in Wrath. Or rather, a better way of saying that is you're going to want to play your attacks when you're in Wrath, if you know what I mean. So Wheel Kick a lot of the time is 30 damage, not 15 damage. Okay, so that's something to consider. Sometimes it is 15 damage, but a lot of the time it's 30. And then drawing 2 cards. So when you consider what I said about the Watcher and how she struggles to draw cards, dealing 30 damage and drawing 2 cards is it's so good. So good. The one drawback of this is it's 2 energy, right? And we have 3 energy. We mightn't get a boss relic that gives us energy. So that's something to consider. But right now, Wheel Kick is just a tasty card. Okay, and yeah, we're going to go into a hallway fight again. Same principle. I want to use Lessons Learned. Okay, a lot of damage here. Okay, so I'm just working out. If I do 9 damage, he goes down to 3, and he gets 5. So yeah, we can kill here. And oh yeah, okay, so we can kill 2 and exit the stance. That's probably what I want to do. So we're going to play this. Actually, I want to draw Sender's Bane because I want to get rid of it. It's probably not going to matter, but okay. And then we're going to exit our stance. We're going to kill this thing and exit our stance, and we're just going to take. We're going to take the damage. 6 damage sucks, but I think it's the best we could have done. Okay, so now we want to hold on for Lessons Learned, right? So Lessons Learned does 10 damage. So I want to knock him out of that shell. So highly likely you draw Lessons Learned, yeah. Okay, and we get Sasha. So we get our 2 weak, which is really nice. Power Potion. Power Potion. Let's just see the cards. Okay, so I know 100% what I'm going to see on this video, because I think it happened to me on the Claw, is people are going to say, "Oh, you could have had a Mantra deck this run." That doesn't change the initial first card pick, right? Yeah, you're not going to know. Mark is kind of another, actually exactly like Mantra, right? So you're applying 8 mark, and all enemies lose HP equal to their mark. So you want more marks. This is weird because my name is Mark. You want more marks, and the more marks you get, the more damage you're doing. Similar to Mantra, right? This card right now isn't great. It's okay, it's not great. But if you start adding more and more marks, it gets better and better. I haven't found mark to be a keyword that I've been able to kind of really kind of get together. So I tend to avoid it. I love Flurry of Blows. Love it, love it, love it. Because, why do I love it, right? Because when you consider what I said about 0 energy, and you have to remember that it's not free, right? Because you're drawing the card. However, Flurry of Blows returns from your discard pile to your hand whenever you change stances. So yeah, absolutely fair enough. On your first draw, you're going to be drawing it and it's going to cost you a draw. However, when you put it into the discard pile, you're going to be able to keep drawing that back, right? So that's going to be a free 8 damage a lot of time, because you're going to go into Wrath. It's going to do 8 damage, right? Then you're going to exit Wrath. You're going to play Flurry of Blows, and you're going to play whatever. Then you're going to exit Wrath, and boom, you get Flurry of Blows back, right? Because it goes, once you've played it, it goes back to your discard pile. So you can ping Flurry of Blows back into your hand several times in a single turn. This stacks up a lot, okay? And Flurry of Blows, I just love that card. Power Pot, this is a really painful one. Like, I'm not going to get rid of Thorns because what is this guy called? I'm so Bronze Automaton, is he? Or Sentinel? I'm so bad with the names. I played this game for hundreds of hours and I can't remember the names. Anyway, this guy does multi-hits, and Thorns is just going to be so nice. So I'm going to pop Thorns straight away in this fight, and it's going to do a lot of damage. The stance potion I'm also going to keep because it lets me, 1, be braver with my stances, and 2, it's going to pop a bit of energy with Cam. And now that I've said that, maybe the energy potion gets deprioritized, since we can use Cam to proc energy. The risky thing about power potion is there's a lot of powers that just aren't useful, right? So power potions are very, very good in boss fights, because that's, boss fights are longer than normal hallway fights, so you get a lot of procs out of your power. But there's just a lot of bad powers. But feck it, we're just going to go for it. And I'm going to heal here. Okay, so drink. I'm going to drink. I like Rushdown. Okay, we're going to enter Vigilance. So the what we're going to hope for here is we go into Wrath and we can do the 26 damage. Yeah, okay, so this is fine. I want to scry. Okay, it's quite nice. We get to apply the weak, and we actually get to do damage. So I want to exit my stance here. So yeah, yeah. Okay, so we're going to defend. I actually kind of... Oh, yeah, silly. I was going to apply the weak there. Do I want to do anything here? I really should have applied the weak. That was silly. Yeah, you know what? I want to apply the weak so badly that I'm just going to take the extra hit damage. That was a misplay though. 100% misplay. Okay. Vigilance. I don't want to do anything else, so I'm just going to let him hit me. Okay, so we're going to wheel kick and hope we draw into Wrath. We did not, but that's okay. We're going to exit Cam and get that extra bit of thing. And I think we can actually, yeah, we can knock him out of this. Do we want to? Yeah. I was thinking about the Thorns there, but it's okay. Okay, Sash Whip is nice. I'm not going to make the same mistake. I'm just going to take the damage there. Definitely feeling so when I'm, a really important part of when you're playing Slay the Spire is just, think about your deck as you're playing. And what I'm thinking about is I'm definitely lacking mitigation for sure. I really just have standard blocks and the weak, which is my only kind of my only outlet. I'm going to try and draw into Wrath here. No, okay. That's okay, we're going to take the damage. We're going to take a bit of damage here, but we should be fine. He's so close to death that when we go into Wrath, we'll kill him. That sucks. That sucks. Okay, probably okay. That was very unlucky. Yeah, I mean, we're fine, we'll kill him. Oh, but How greedy am I? Am I going to be now? I mean, I could proc this, which brings him out of the attack, and he's on 6. So I go into vigilance, and I wait for lessons learned, because lessons learned will just straight up kill him. And I just defend until then. Going to take 5 damage here. We're fine. I mean, we'll kill him if it needs be. Yeah. There it is. And I'm just going to play defense so I don't take the torn damage. Okay. Right, so that fight, I definitely think we were handling that fight well until we got pretty unlucky with all of the. We withdrew all our mitigation. All of our mitigation was just in one kind of pile, and we could have it would have been a lot handier to draw a few of those defense a turn earlier, so we can actually mitigate some of that damage. But I do definitely think that our mitigation is poor for sure. These cards aren't great. Master Reality, whenever a card is created during combat upgraded, is okay. Watcher can actually create quite a lot of cards. We don't have any cards, I think, that are doing that right now. No. So this does nothing for us, so this is ignore. Whenever a card is retained, reduces cost in combat by 1 is actually quite nice. However, we have 1 retain, and it's already 0 cost. But, you know, this can be nice if you have a bunch of protects. And, you know, other types of retains, like the Sands Through Time, for example. You know, Sands Through Time now would be going down 2 every time. So you need to spend 2 turns and it'll be down to 0. So really nice together. Judgment is a really nice hallway card up until about Act 3. Okay, so you upgrade it, it'll go to 40. The majority of hallway fights in Act 2, you'll kill straight off at 40, or you need to weaken it a bit and it'll die at 40. And even 30, to be honest. It's like, if you get this early, it's such a good Act 1 card. Like, there's an auto pick for Act 1. Going into Act 2, it's not so bad. There's a do you know that orb that has 20 health but has like 40 shields and a block, and then keeps adding block, and it has barricade on it. Judgment will cut right through that and kill it instantly. So it makes that hallway fight in Act 2 an auto win. It's really good against birds, obviously. Absolutely useless in hallway in elite fights, most elite fights, and absolutely useless in boss fights, obviously. It is good in the Slaver elite fight, though. So that's something to consider. So I think we're going to pick it, mostly because I think Establishment and Master Reality are just really bad. And it's not, Judgment isn't so bad that I would rather not have it, right? I'm going to be happy to see Judgment quite a bit. Okay. Shite. Not great. Okay. Energy relics, obviously, you prioritize energy relics based on what your deck looks like. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards over 2 energy, which is actually pretty good. So energy isn't a huge problem for us just yet, and we actually don't have too much card draw, so you know we don't need to worry about that too much. Obviously, we would want more energy, but it's not a massive thing. I'm going to be upgrading corruption at some point to bring it down to 1 energy as well. So yeah, I mean, I would love more energy, but Busted Crown is just not worth it. We have a lot more cards that we need. Like I just said, we need loads more mitigation. Busted Crown is going to destroy our chances in getting more mitigation. So there's an absolute no pick. You cannot pick Busted Crown in this situation. So it goes between Black Star and Sacred Bark. Doubling the effectiveness of potions is really nice, and I'm still playing on an essential difficulty that gives me 3 potion slots, which makes Sacred Bark even better. So it's good. Black Star, you know, obviously, I would have loved in Act 1. We killed 3 elites, so we have to consider how many elites are we going to be going for in Act 2 and Act 3. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Black Star, and I think I'm going to look for a path that'll get me 2 elites in Act 2. And I think that'll make Black Star worth it. Okay, we have the Champ, which is scaling. Okay. Ooh. Right. I like this path. 1, 2, 3. So we get a 3, we get a rest, and we get a elite. That's really nice so far. Then we go up here, and it gets horrible. So like this path is just so dangerous. I mean, we could take 3 elites in Act 1 and survive. Oh, we have wing boots. Okay, that changes things. Okay, that's actually quite nice. So we can go up here, we can take this elite, we can take this elite, we can get to the rest and then move. Or like rather we can go up here and then move. I don't need to actually worry about this elite. So yeah, okay, wing boots actually makes this an easy choice. So that's the path we're going to be going for. Means we don't get a shop until here, but that's fine. Okay. So I'm right? 1, 2, 3, yeah. Okay, so we're going to go here. Okay. Probably can't afford to go into crescendo here, right? I mean, I could go crescendo, kick, empty fist. I don't hate that. And vigilance actually instead. Would love to be able to kill this guy off, but I just can't kill him. Don't have the deeps, so... Yeah, okay, we're going to take a bit of damage here, unfortunately. So yeah, we need mitigation badly. Okay, so we get to enter extra stance here, and we get to kill, which is lovely. I'm going to skip these cards. Oh, that's really nice. That's what I mean about Sash Whip being just really nice mitigation for us. Okay, so want to be greedy. Do we want to be greedy? So we could just kill him. He is 15 of our gold. How much do I care about that? So he's going to shield. He's going to run next turn. The chances of us drawing lessons learned is slim, to be honest. And the chances of us not being able to kill him also slim. So I'm just going to kill him. Okay. This does give us block, but it's just that's not what the card does, right? It's not really a mitigation card. It's like half mitigation, half deck manipulation, and it's just not good enough right now. I would pick this in Act 1. 11, even if I'm not going to get more mark, 11 damage for 1 energy is just really good. But we don't need that right now. We have enough early game damage. And this just look, he just doesn't really do enough right now. Scrying 1, gain 2 block. It just kind of does a bit of everything, and that's not really what we need. So we're going to skip all this. Ooh, okay, we're going to fight these guys, because I don't want to lose all my gold, but we're going to have to use potions. Okay, I'm going to enter Wrath here. That was a mistake. Should have played Flurry Blows first. Okay, so we're going to do the damage here, and we're going to lesson learned. Flurry, miracle, and block. Okay, judgment, really nice. Okay, so that does 30. No, it's not enough, right? Yeah, it's not enough. Okay, gotta get the block in. I'll play Sash Whip. Mistake. That's fine, takes the damage. Okay, so we can kill now. Okay, it's okay. We just couldn't afford to take to. So we're just not getting the mitigation, unfortunately. Flurry Blows, another one is just too much, right? It's obviously nice to be drawing 2 Flurry Blows back into your hand every time you play it, but you just have to consider, you know, the actual first draw, and I don't want 2 Flurry Blows in my draw pile. Crescendo, no. Empty Minds, no. Okay. Definitely getting low on health, which is a worry. Okay, that's nice. I can play that for free. And I can go into Vigilance. Okay, chances of playing Lesson Learned is slim. Okay, so we're going to go into Wrath this turn, probably, because we had an empty fist. Okay. Give me a Lessons Learned. Oh. And yeah, I can't just kind of wait for Lesson Learned to be drawn. Okay, that's really nice. Yeah, that obviously not much explaining here. We need Mitigation. 9 for 1 is really nice, and Scrying 5 is obviously excellent as well. So that's an easy pick. Liquid Memories is pretty good. Thorns, though, just in case we get a bird fight, I want Thorns. I think maybe instead of the, like, we do need Mitigation. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it. I need to start using these potions though, because I have an Entropic Brew, so this is just sitting in my hand doing absolutely nothing. So, okay, we have to go this way to. Yes, nice. Okay, so what do I want here? Probably Judgment. Get it up to 40. That 40 is just going to be really handy, especially against slavers. And we're going to go this way. Play Flurry. And play... Yeah, play this. Okay, so what do I not want? I don't want these. I do want Crescendo. And I'm going to play Vigilance. Okay. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I was hoping they wouldn't be attacking. And this just isn't good enough. And like I just can't afford to go into Wrath here because it's just I'm not doing enough. Okay, there we go. That's what I was hoping for. Okay, so I need to do one more. I'm going to play this first so I don't kill him. Then I play this. Yeah. Miracle. This. I mentioned this in my one of the videos anyway, but you always want to prioritize killing the knight over the mystic, because if you kill the mystic first, the knight starts doing crazy damage. Probably wouldn't have mattered in this circumstance, but okay. Windmill Strike again just doesn't do enough. It's also 2 energy, and we want to just be very careful about 2 energy cards right now, since we only have 3 energy. Cut Through Face, no, we have... I mean, it's okay, but like, again, early damage, we need to start kind of worrying a little bit about early damage now. Indignation. So if you're in Wrath, apply 5 vulnerable to all enemies, otherwise enter Wrath. I quite like this. We still need a few more cards to enter Wrath in. Crescendo's actually doing work, but like you can't always rely on it. And the really nice thing about Indignation is it's not a dead draw if you're already in Wrath. Right? Applying 5 vulnerable to all enemies is really, really nice. So we're going to go there. Okay, we're going to rest. And we're going to fight an elite. Okay, Slavers. This is where Judgment is going to come in handy. Oh, and Bowling Bash. Okay, I really wish I had a exit stance card right now. I'm going to play Thorns. Okay, so I'm going to play Cut Through Fate and hope we get an exit stance card. Nope. That's okay. That's unfortunate, but that's fine. Because we can do this. And then we can do this. Yeah, I'm just going to play this now. I want to get those cards out of my hand. And this is a fine time to play that card. Okay, so we got attack. Another Entropic Brew. We're going infinite. Okay, so Third Eye is really nice here. And we have Crescendo and Empty Fist. Okay, that's good. Okay, so we're gonna play third eye. I'm gonna keep Dungeon. I want to get rid of these. I want to keep Sash Whip. I want to keep Indignation. Yeah, okay. So so first off we want to use this. Then we want a Crescendo. Do we? No, I think we want a Vigilance. We could Crescendo. No, I want to keep Crescendo for next turn. We're going to pop off next turn. Right. Crescendo. Indignation. Flurry of Blows. Okay, let me just make sure I know what I'm doing here. Sash Whip. That does, yeah, okay. Okay. Not too bad. When you get Whetstone, you want to make sure you add your card to your deck first, just in case you get a really nice attack that you want to upgrade. No signature move. Like, just it's kind of difficult to get working. You know, if you draw any, you know, other cards other than an attack, this does nothing, and we don't have the energy to make it work. Crush Joints, no. Just early gain damage, and the one vulnerable doesn't do enough, and Sanctuary Scorch Your Face. So we're going to ignore that, and we're going to use a Whetstone. That's a nice upgrade. Lesson learned. The decks. Maybe instead of Thorns, I think. I know I'm gonna get birds now. I know I'm gonna get birds. Fuck. Mother. Okay. Right. I want to kill the bird first. Going to would like to get him down on the ground. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's a really nice draw. Okay, so Bowling Bash, yes, yes. No, no. Okay. And yeah. He's going to be doing his move next turn, so I can go into Wrath and be fine about it. And I have an Empty Fist to get out of the Wrath. Coming up. Would love to be able to kill him, but no, it's not enough. Unfortunately. Oh, it is with an attack. Okay, I might just blow the attack here. Oh, it is. Sorry. Oh, he's vulnerable. Of course, he's vulnerable. I was like, oh my god, I'm so bad at maths, but no, I forgot about the vulnerable. Okay. Carve Reality is actually decent for late game damage. You know, you're adding 6 damage for 1 isn't great, but the deal 12 damage for 1 on Retain is really nice. Again, Retain is really important because it means I can hold Smite for my Wrath turn. I'm leaning towards Carve Reality because I'm gonna have to start thinking about, you know, doing enough damage to kill the champ. And I think that's what's going to do it for me. Obviously, these cards aren't going to do anything, so yeah. And I'm going to go for the Played Steel. Okay, so I think we can continue to kill elites. That's nice. Yeah, so I think the plan is here, kill this, hopefully, see how much damage I've taken, and see if a rest can allow me to go onto this guy. Okay, Book of Stabbing. I'm going to start using these, to be honest, because I have my Entropic Brew. Okay, I love Talk to the Hand. Although, God, Sands for free is good, but Talk to the Hand is just, applying that for free is just really nice, because I now get 2 block every time I hit something. I'm going to play my Players. I'm a little bit worried about this guy for sure. The damage that he does, add 2 miracles and escape from non-boss combat. Okay, well, gives me an out anyway. Right. I'm going to lose a bit of plated armor here, but it's okay. Right. I have a lot of miracles here, so I can do quite a bit. So I am going to enter Crescendo. Then I'm going to Indignation to get the vulnerable. So he's taking a buttload of damage right now. Then I'm going to play Scry Through Fate. Don't want any of these. Red Eye is nice. I'm going to play Carve Reality to get out the Smite. I'm going to play my Miracle. So how many miracles have I got to work with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I can play this now. I'm going to play both of these miracles, I think. So I'm going to play Smite, Empty Fist, Third Eye, I think. So, or I can just kill it. That would also be a thing that I could do. You know, that would probably work. God bless Vulnerable. Okay, Prayer Wheel is actually really nice. And Ornamental Fan, ooh yeah, quite nice as well. Right. Signature move and Just Lucky we spoke about. Wreath of Flame, your next attack deals 5 additional damage. Just no, that's quite good with there's a Watcher card that enters Wrath and does repeated damage, so it's quite nice with that. Like it hits more than once, but we have no cards like that. Wreath of Flame, I don't think really procs off anything. I mean, Bowling Bash, obviously. That Wreath of Flame into Bowling Bash would be quite nice, but that's about it. So no, we're gonna skip. Okay, I think we can keep going. I think I want to rest. Yeah, just to be sure. Right, we're going to go to the event. Oh, a shop. Did need to rest. Okay, so Spirit Shield is lovely. Gain 3 block for each card in your hand. This is like a get out of jail. I need a load of block. Now it is 2 energy, which is not great, but I think just mitigation is so important for us right now that it's just really nice. We have meal tickets. Sorry, we have where is it? Yeah, Smiling Mask. So removal is free. We're going to move a strike. Again, like I said at the very start, you know, with the removals, you just have to kind of consider what your deck needs. And right now, we need mitigation. So, like, the block is important. Perseverance is like, it's okay. It certainly gets good, but like, you know, can I wait long enough for Perseverance to actually start ticking up? I really like Follow Up. Follow Up is just a free damage card. You know, you get the energy back, so it's very nice for like scaling damage. You know, when you're in Wrath, you're essentially getting an extra 14 damage for free, so it's quite good. I'm going to get that. Boom. Duplication. Is there anything we really like to duplicate? Spirit Shield to duplicate is nice. So we're looking at the boss fight here. Indignation, we get 10 vulnerable on. Carve Reality duplicates 2 smites. It's not bad. I'm thinking about. I'm going to get rid of the smoke bomb. Is what I'm thinking, and picking up one of these. Whenever you scry, gain 3 block. Nirvana's not a card I usually pick, but we're quite starred for mitigation. So we're scrying twice, right? One here, one here. It's not great. We just don't really scry enough. I think we're going to duplicate. Do you know what? I'm going to take it. We need mitigation. I can't be saying, oh, the game's not giving me enough mitigation, and then just ignore the actual mitigation card that they give me. Right. Bowling Bash, obviously nice here. We're just going to use it to clear out these guys. The fat gremlins are terrifying. I hate them. Because of the debuff they leave on you. Crescendo. Do I want to? No, I don't want a crescendo. I can just kill this thing and try and crescendo next turn. It's dealing quite a bit of damage. Do I want to just? No, I mean it's only 12 damage. It's fine. It's fine. Right, what are you doing? You're doing nothing. Lovely. Crescendo. Oh no, Flurry blows. Then crescendo. Then Flurry blows, then follow for free, then Sash Whip. Then Empty Fist, or do I want to stay here in... This is why Judgment is such an annoying card, right? It does nothing for us right now. You know, maybe we need more just direct damage cards as well. Something to consider. Might have just been a poor draw. Okay, so he's going to summon the two guys, and then he's going to attack, probably. How likely is it that I get out of my stance? Not very likely, to be honest. It's really just vigilance, right? Yeah, okay, so I can't afford to be in this stance, so I need to get out of it. Okay. Right. Okay, we're going to cut through Fate here. Spirit Shield is nice. But like... Yeah, it's fine, we can afford to play it. We're going to play Spirit Shield, and then we're going to Miracle, and we're going to kill this Fat Gremlin so it doesn't apply the debuff. I should have played Carve Reality, it was a mistake. Thinking, do I play the Miracle here and defend? No. It's not worth the 4 damage. Okay, lessons learned, that's lovely. And Third Eye, just so I can... I have nothing in my drop pile. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. It's nothing I really could play either. Okay, so he's going to now attack. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so next turn, I don't want to defend. I don't want to flurry your blows. Sash Whip is nice. Eruption is just... We need to upgrade Eruption. Yeah, I'm going to play Eruption just because it's very important that I go into Wrath next turn. Okay, we're going to defend, and then we're going to... Yeah, I think it's time we pop this. Did I... Got rid of Eruption. That was a misclick. Silly. Okay. It's fine. Should be able to kill him next turn. Yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah, another good elite fight. We're actually doing quite well with the elites, which is good. Okay, that's not bad. That's useless. It's upgraded, but just still, does it do enough? I don't know. Ugh. I know it's just going to be sitting in my deck doing nothing. Like, but we do need scaling damage, and that is scaling damage. Okay, we're going to pick it. It's upgraded, that's why I'm picking it. And we have Duplication Potion as well, which makes it really good. Might get rid of the Fire Pot, because the Fire Pot is not going to be useful against... It's not going to be as useful as Speed Potion against the champ. Okay, I want to go into the shop, probably. Obviously to get that heal. Oh, there's Tantrum. That's the card I was talking about. The multiple hit cards. That's probably the pick here. Tantrum is a really, really nice scaling card. Because it'll do 3 damage 3 times. Obviously, when you're in Wrath, that does quite a lot. But also, you shuffle it back into your draw pile when you play it. So it's a really, really nice way to get constant damage cards. Feck. Oh, Tranquility is also here. So Tranquility is opposite to Crescendo. You upgrade it, you go to 0 mana, it retains, and you can enter Calm anytime you want, pretty much. We don't have a lot of Calm, and we don't have a lot of energy, which makes Calm even better. I think we want Tranquility. I really like Tantrum, but like this just allows us to do so much. Again, allows us to be a lot braver in entering Wrath as well. So yeah, and I'm probably going to upgrade it, either that or Eruption. Probably going to upgrade Eruption. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to play this just so Sash Whip gets procced. Yeah, not a great opening turn. I mean, we did get Perseverance in straight away, which is nice. Okay, so I get to... This is quite nice, actually. Oh, yeah, okay, it's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I just want to make sure I'm not going to burn this when I draw them. Okay, so this is what I mean by tranquility. Right now, I'd be like, I really want to play Carve Reality, but I'd be like, oh, but I'm still in Wrath. Can I, risk being in Wrath? But I have tranquility, so yes, I can risk being in Wrath because I know I'll be in. Okay, I wanted to play Smite with thing, but Spirit Shield into Tranquility is probably the player. It's fine. We go Crescendo into Smite next turn. Okay, this is going to be a good turn. Could duplicate that. No, we won't duplicate it yet. Okay. Yeah, it's probably... We actually do... God, do we need to do duplicate? Probably not, actually. I'm just going to keep hitting them. Yeah. Okay, nice one. Okay, so that's the power of Watcher. So, like, when I look back on that, where did all the damage come from? Sometimes I found with Watcher, you're kind of worried about my scaling and stuff, and you're thinking I had to pick cards, and then the boss is just dead, right? So obviously the damage came from Wrath and how often I was able to enter it and enter it safely, and Indignation is huge. Wrath into Vulnerable, so this card is doing work for me right now, real work, because I'm just able to apply Vulnerable quite often. So yeah, that did a lot. Flurry Blows obviously ticked away. Follow up, I think I was able to play twice. The Carve Reality into Smite, so that's I was doing 24 damage with Smite. Yeah, and then obviously I did like 29 damage with Judgment, or 39 damage. Can't remember what it was. So yeah, it's kind of definitely. I find sometimes you're just like, oh god, where the hell did that damage come from? So you just kind of maybe have to think about what your deck is doing. Okay. Wish I had energy. Okay, so lessons learned is out. We have one already, and obviously, it's probably quite an obvious thing to say that like it gets way less valuable the further you're on the run. Omniscience is brilliant, like such a good card. Omniscience is one of those cards that when you're in Act 3 and like it's one of the, and it's Fighting the Heart, it's one of those cards that just makes your deck absolutely pop off and being able to play card twice. Like imagine playing Omniscience into Dave of Form, for example, and now you're getting an extra 2 energy every turn. Not extra 2 energy, like an extra additive, so 4 energy on turn 2, 6 energy on turn 3. Incredibly strong. I just can't play it. I'm on 3 energy now. I have to hope I get an energy relic in the boss off this boss, and even then, it's a whole turn to play Omniscience. Yeah, so it's probably Ragnarok. I'm in Wrath quite a lot. I can draw Ragnarok and have a Crescendo waiting for it. And it's 3 energy. I know I can play it. I'll hopefully pick up an energy relic off this boss. I'm going to very much highly prioritize an energy relic so I can play it pretty often. So yeah, it sucks. I love that. I love this card, but I just can't be sure I can play it. Okay, so glad I didn't pick the Sacred Bark, because we're probably going for Sozu, obviously, because Calling Bell. I mean, Unique Curse is nice with Duvidal, but no, Tiny House is crap. I'm going to miss potions for sure, but the extra energy is just so important. Okay, and nice end boss for us, because we don't have too many powers. Do we have a single power? Don't think we do. Yeah, so that's quite nice for us. So we just need to remember that if we get offered a nice power, just remember who our last boss is. Okay, we still have Black Star. I feel quite confident in my damage this run, so we can still hunt elites. And I still have I still have 2 uses of wing boots. I didn't use that at all. Okay, that's really nice. Okay, so I want to hit a few rest sites as well because there are a few important upgrades that I need to do. Okay, so I'm quite liking this path here. So we go up here. We get 2 rests. Rest. Then we go elite rest. I mean, we could do this, right? So we could go, we use our wing boots and go here. No, they're on the same line, so that doesn't work. It seems like this is saying you either get rests or you get elites. So what cards do we need upgraded? We need Tranquility upgraded, we need Ragnarok upgraded, we need Carve Reality and Spirit Shield upgraded. Perseverance upgrade would be good. Flurry of Blows upgrade would be good. Yeah, so okay, so we're prioritizing rests. We just need the upgrades. Okay. Okay, so that's nice. We get our retains both in the hand right at the start, which is good. It's not enough. Okay, we can be a bit bold here. Did I just play Empty Fist? Mark, you idiot. You moron. Oh my god, what am I doing? That was a lesson. That was a fucking lesson learned to play. You might still be okay though. That was so stupid. Okay, it's fine. Ooh, that's a nice upgrade. Okay, Evaluate definitely gets a little bit better now. Yeah, actually, maybe you want one of these. Yeah. Okay. Don't want any of these at all. I mean, it's not bad, right? It's geez, when you're in Wrath, you know, it's 24 damage for 1. I think one of these, yeah, that's fine. Let's get 2. Do you know what? I should have gone 3 and just used the max HP. That would have been better. Don't like any of these. Artifact. How good is Artifact? Not that useful. No, none of these either. Like Artifacts... There's nothing I'm doing to myself that requires Artifact, is there? No. No. Okay, let's just max HP again. Okay, let's continue. Okay, this should be a nice lesson learned here. Obviously, you want to prioritize the exploders. But I don't have the 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't have the damage. It's okay. Going to Crescendo next turn, hopefully, or going to Rats. No Rats. Okay. I'm going to kill one of these guys. Okay, there we go. It's fine. Might grab a conclude. That's the card I was talking about. Sorry, the deal damage and ends your turn that I couldn't remember the name of. Conclude for Reptomancer is really, really good. And I mean, it's not bad as well when we get to the end boss, because he's gonna have 2 cultists. So yeah, I'm picking this just for Reptomancer, I think. Yeah. Ooh, there we go. This is a scaling card. So deal 15 damage and we get a 0 mana 20 card. Probably it's going to be dealing 40 damage because it's retain. So that is the definition of a good scaling late game card for the Watcher. So we're going to be picking that. How might yeah, I think I'm going to prioritize hallway fights for lessons learned. Because like I said, we want upgrades. So this is the card that Judgment is absolutely going to wreck. The Sphere Guardian, the enemy nut card. Okay, we don't want to enter Wrath. There we go. Oh, yeah. For some reason I thought Artifact did something there, but no, it doesn't. So we're just going to hold off now until we get Lesson Learned. It's going to deal a little bit of damage to him. Boom, 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 boom. There it is. Right, Pigeon's not bad. Cultist Potion might actually be quite nice for the boss. Oh. Oh, so many mistakes. Okay, so this is really nice. But is it useful? The thing about Wrath, and you probably see me in this run picking the card that you instantly draw cards when you go into Wrath. That's so nice because, like, obviously when you go into Wrath, you want as many options available to you as possible, both in terms of damage and both getting out of Wrath. So drawing cards in Wrath is lovely. Simmering Fury is a bit weird though, because you're delaying it a turn. And that can be very risky because you don't know a lot of the time what the enemy is going to be doing on your next turn. I think I'm going to leave it and just get the max HP. I like Mental Fortress, but we are going into a boss that punishes power. No, I'm going to leave it. I think my power picks are going to be like saved for like this super powerful powers, because I just don't think there's any need to play into what the boss is, strong at. Okay, Rare Relic is always good. That is a terrible first turn though. Ooh. Huh. That sucks. Taking way more damage than I want to take here. I might play Spirit Shields. It's a pity. I wanted, obviously wanted Liquid Memories for, I wanted Liquid Memories for the final boss, but sure. I want to hold on to Empty Fist for my, do I? Yeah, I do. I want to hold on to, I want to be in cam for when I go into, when I go into Wrath. So here, for example. Okay, and I want to make sure that I get out of. Let's play this. Let's play this for free. And go out. Yeah, I think that's okay. I don't want to play any other cards. Yeah. That sucks though. It definitely took more damage than I wanted to take. Usually these fights are like, oh yeah, I'll just destroy the Act 1 boss, but not this time. Do I want to play Lessons Learned? Yes, I do. Okay, I have Crescendo for Lessons Learned, that's fine. So now I want to just full block here. Okay. Ooh, love this. God, this is such a good relic. Card draw is starting to become important. We'd prefer if it was upgraded, but... So we don't need this again. One indignation is grand. This is just too random. I think card draw is good. We have 4 energy. Yeah. Okay. Important upgrades. Perseverance, Sheer Chill, Tranquility. So I'm going to go Tranquility first. 0 mana is just really nice to enter Cam into. Do I want to go into the boss? So I go boss here, I go rest, and then I can skip over here and go rest. I think we can take 1 boss, yeah, that's fine. Okay, and this should be fine. We have so much damage that we should be fine here. Okay, so we're going to full block, so we want to get it ready for a crescendo turn. So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to keep the strike just because I want all attacks. And discard the Bane, obviously. Yeah, we're full blocking, so we're okay to play this. Right. In we go. Let's get Tranquility back in our hand. Okay. I'm going to take this damage. We have buffer, so that's fine. So it's doing 71. Empty fists are a bit of a problem here. That's fine. Okay, we could go Ragnarok. Yeah. Quite like that. And then Tranquility into Perseverance. You could play... Yeah, I actually kind of like playing this first because we have a Miracle. Yeah. Can't kill, right? We're going to play the Miracle. This doesn't kill. 35, 50... Oh, 58 nearly kills. We could duplicate, but I want to save that for the boss. So we're going to go Tranquility. Flurry Blows is nice. And Perseverance. Okay. We should be able to kill now this turn. Would rather be in... That's fine, yeah. Have we played Lesson Learned? We haven't. He's doing 40 damage though, and we have... I mean, we could exit the stance and just hope. Yeah. No. Okay, that's fine. It's really nice pair. God, we have so much max HP. Consecrate is, again, decent AoE, but I think we're okay for AoE now. And Sanctity, I think, is really good. It gives us a bit of block, which I think we need a bit more block, and obviously then gives us card draw. So that's a really nice pick. We go here, rest. Rest, boss, rest. Maybe that's the play. Let me see. Are we going into a shop? We could if we go here. Yeah, I think. Okay, so it's. Okay, more card draw. So we have to go here to get the shop. Yeah. Oh, no, we don't. Alright. Ginger's nice. I really wish if I was Jorbs now, I know exactly the moveset of that final boss, and I'll be able to know whether or not the final boss weakens me or not. But I don't know that. Okay, I think first off we're gonna cut a card, and we're probably gonna cut a defend, I think. At this point. I like Light Water a lot, but we're not ending our turn in Cam very much. This is very much we're just proccing Wrath quite a lot. But it's not bad. It's definitely not bad. Obviously we can't get any more potions. Exhaust. We have no exhaust, right? Oh, we have tranquility and crescendo, do we? Yeah. We have so much money that I'm just going to pick that up just for those 2 cards. Just because it'd be really nice if we retain them. Patience, maybe? We have another shop coming up, don't we? Yeah. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to leave this for the shop. Might be able to get a really nice relic. Okay, transform. Is there anything that I picked up early on that I don't want anymore? Judgment, actually. Yeah. Brilliance. Okay. Useless. Okay, that's fine. We just cut that next turn. Yeah, so the mantra probably would have worked if we went into it. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. First things first, I think the most important thing is cutting Brilliance, because that's just a dead card. Okay. Another Ragnarok could be decent. So it's no good to us. That's not bad. We don't have too much scry though. And Artifact. Apotheosis does very little for us. We've upgraded a ton of cards thanks to Lesson Learned. Study actually, but it's a power. Want to stay away from power. I think it's Sands of Time or Ragnarok here. And I think because we have so much money, let's go Ragnarok and upgrade it. And do we just pick this up for 2 extra health? No, we go Third Eye, I think. Or another Sands of Time. Yeah, another Sands of Time and maybe a Third Eye. No, let's leave it. We have enough to upgrade. Okay, so next upgrade is going to be the other Ragnarok, I think. Ragnarok and Spirit Shield are going to be our last 2 upgrades, I think. Yeah. Okay, we'll get lessons learned off these guys as well, which would be good. Okay, gonna draw. Ugh. Gonna wheel kick maybe, and hopefully I get a block card. Oh, oh yes, perfect. I love you, Spirit Shield. This actually works out perfectly as well because I get to block the first 2 cards and then the first 2 hits and then full block. Okay, we can just Eruption here and kill with Wrath. Oh shit, no we can't. That's okay. Oh yeah, we can actually. If we go Flurry Blows, Vigilance, Flurry Blows. There we go. I knew. I knew we could. Okay, so bum 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 bum. We go Indignation and we kill with Wrath here. But we need to be very careful, obviously, with this. 42, that's nice, because then we can finish off a Lesson Learned. The spikes are going to be a bit of a pain, though, because are we going to have enough block? Okay, so let's go Scry. Okay, we can actually maybe force out a Lesson Learned here, which would be good. Cancel all them, then play Sanctity. No. Okay, we're going to draw it next turn, but how much block are we going to have is the problem. Oh my god, we still didn't draw. You kidding? Oh wait, no, I already played it, did I? Okay, never mind. So we just block here. I actually think it's better to take the 9 damage. Because that happens, this kicks off at the start of our turn, yeah. Okay. Okay. This is like Alpha Beta is and Omega is like it's just a card that will scale you right on its own. We don't need that right now though. We have plenty of damage. Another follow up isn't too bad. Yeah, I kind of like that. And then none of these. Yeah, okay, so we're well set going into this boss. We'll crush him. We're going to go Spirit Shield. Okay, so I have Indignation and Empty Fist. I'm going to probably use that. Indignation. Empty Fist gets us out. And we're going to use our buffer here, but it's okay. Okay, Bowling Bash actually does something for us now, so we'll use that. Gonna hold on to that. We're gonna kill this guy. Now we're just gonna tank the damage. It's fine. I want Perseverance to do a bit more. Okay, so we've drawn our 2 sands of time, so that's okay. I think we just block up here, play strike, and it concludes. So once we go into Wrath now, we're going to do a ton of damage, which is what we're going to do now. Do it like... So I want these to tick down a bit further. Yeah, I think we can play weak here. Weak, follow up, and Vigilance. And that's fine. So yeah, we're saving for the absolute, like, crazy turn. Yeah, we have enough block here that we can... Next card is a skill. Yeah, it's fine. Nice. Ooh. We're going to discard all these. Right. Then we're going to play here. It's good. Okay, so next turn we're going to want a... We're going to not want this, not want this, not want this. We're going to want a Wheel Kick and Empty Fist. Yeah, it's not too bad. Okay, that's good. And we are doing enough defense, so we're just going to hit him. And it really doesn't matter what we draw here. Okay, so next turn is the big hit. Crescendo. Sands of Time. Sands of Time. Smite. Carve Reality. Smite again. Now we have to be careful because we're going to go back into Cam. Then we're going to go Defend. And we're going to go Defend. Okay. Three. No, I don't have enough. That's fine. I'm just going to use Perseverance here. And we're going to use Follow Up into Slash Whip to get the Mitigation and just use Conclude. So that's fine. I like Spirit Shield here. It's good. Spirit Shield, Flurry of Blows, Empty Fists. We're going to hold on to Flying Sleeves and go back into Cam. Flurry of Blows again. Okay, so another big, and we can kill this. We can kill him here. I'm gonna hold on to the retain. I'm gonna play. I'll definitely kill him, right? Yeah, this will kill him. Okay. Then I'm gonna play Evaluate to get the inside into my hand. Okay, now we're in Wrath with Duplication, so that's going to be quite strong. But we need to get out of Wrath now. Empty Fist, Slash Whip. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's nice. It's going to make proc spiritual really nicely. We have our big old Sands of Times ready to go with our duplication potion, so that's good. Now we just need to be able to go into Wrath, basically. Yeah, this is all very good. So, big Wrath turn coming up. We need to get into it first. Okay, this is free. I'm going to defend and then play Sanctity. Then play Vigilance. Blows. Okay, so we're going to take a bit of damage here. Actually, I might just pop the Miracle and play Perseverance as well. We're taking a bit of damage here, but that's okay. Actually, are we taking a bit of damage? No, we're not. We block full. That's fine. Okay, so big. I wish I had something else, but that's fine. We're into Wrath now. That's okay. Flurry of Blows. Sands of Times. How much do? 6. Okay. So we're going to proc this twice, right? Yeah. Okay. There's the damage. Cool. Alright, and that's the Watcher. So, yeah, you can see if I look at the deck there, what helped to kill at the end. The Sands of Time were huge, and Ragnarok. So, like, Watcher, basically, the way she scales is she's a bunch of like high number cards that once you go into Wrath or Divinity, if that's the way you go, she'll do a ton of damage with. So you saw how much damage I was able to output with Ragnarok, and once we counted the Sands of Time down to 0 mana, 0 energy, I was able to like play a Wrath turn at the end there and bring him down from I think it was over 200 health down to 0 and kill. So yeah, that's the Watcher. I hope that helped, and I hope you're able to see like I think the big takeaway, you know, is like how often you're supposed to switch stances, you know, switch into Wrath, switch into Calm, then back to Wrath, and also how important those cards that exit your stances are, because, you know, Wrath is high risk, high reward, and you have to be able to, you know, predict when you play Wrath, am I either going to kill it or am I going to be able to exit the stance, and it's very important that you add cards like, you know, Empty Fists, into your hand to get you out of those stances. And then it's really important to add cards like Crescendo and Tranquility as well to be able to go into the stance when you need to be able to go into it, right? It's not enough just to hope that you draw something like Eruption on a turn where you can do big damage. You know, being able to, you know, get into a stance when you want to get into it is crucial. And like something like Runic Pyramid, for example, is so good for Watcher because it allows you to do that. Okay, so that was my guide on the Watcher. This took longer than I thought it would, so I apologize, but I guess I wanted to really kind of get into the finer details of the run. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you really enjoy, and please feel free to kind of leave a comment if you've been. I've been kind of blown away with the feedback that I've gotten from my other videos. It's something I never really expected to get. So thank you so much if you have left a comment or if you subscribed. I think that's amazing. It really has shocked me. So if you like it, please feel free to kind of leave me a comment, and I'll absolutely try and get back to you as best I can. But until then, I hope you folks have a really nice day, and I'll see you next time I do one of these. Bye bye.